Trump responding directly on the phone to our Andrew Kaczynski about K-File's report that Greg Phillips, who is a top Trump appointee at FEMA, Phillips oversees federal disaster response. Well, Phillips claims that he was teleported to a Waffle House. Okay. Phillips, you may remember from K-File's exclusive.
Did y'all hear that? He said that he was teleported, number one, to a Waffle House. And this was a top official appointed by Trump. He was teleported to a Waffle House. Now, that right there, the gravity of that right there alone, teleported. Not he drove, not he was kidnapped, he was teleported. I'm going to let y'all continue with this. It gets weird. Very weird. Quick.
Reporting featured out front said this on a podcast in 2025.
We had a teleport incident, two of them. The car lifted up and took me where I was going. And I ended up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was. It was an incredibly frightening moment to experience yourself in your car flying through the air.
Now let's remember, this is a top official for FEMA that Trump appointed. This ain't just nobody. This is a big time somebody. And he came out and said this. That right there ain't scary to y'all. Like, continue to listen to this. Now, the first thing I thought just hearing that, man, what kind of drugs this dude taking? Like, Trump's going to fire this dude ASAP. Trump can't wait to drop the gavel on this sick, demented fool. But y'all got to continue to listen to it. It gets weird. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Listen.
He said he is a top Trump appointee at FEMA who oversees federal disaster response. So the President of the United States personally answers K-File's call. And he responds in part when Andrew's asking about this teleporting to a Waffle House business. Quote, "It just sounds a little strange." Andrew Kaczynski is out front. So, Andrew, okay, you called Trump on his cell phone. You have a conversation about this.
And he wasn't wrong, by the way.
He wasn't wrong.
It does sound strange.
It does sound strange. It might be where he could have perhaps even been a little bit more effusive. So what else did he say?
Okay, so I called President Trump. He picked up the phone. I explained to him that we were doing a story on Greg Phillips, the number 3 official at FEMA in charge of all federal disaster response. I explained to him the clip that people just saw right there where he says he teleported to a Waffle House, and President Trump seemingly was trying to make sense of what I meant, and he said, "What does teleport mean?" I explained to him, I literally said he flew through the air 50 miles and landed.
Did y'all hear that? Trump doesn't even know what teleporting means. I think my 6-year-old grandson knows what teleporting means. I mean, but he's the president of the United States and he don't know what teleporting means. Never heard of it. Don't have no idea. That's strange to me in itself. But we all know that Trump ain't the brightest bulb in the box. But I'm going to continue with this.
Near a Waffle House, I did literally stop in the middle. I'm like, this is real what I'm saying.
And he's staying on the phone.
Of course, yeah, you wanted to know. And then he pauses for a second after I explain it to him, and he goes, "Was he kidding?" I was like, no, he's being dead serious. He says, "I know nothing about it." And he says, "I don't know anything about teleporting." I ask him again, "Anything you want to add?" He says, "No, it just sounds a little strange, but I know nothing about teleporting or him, but I'll find out about it for you."
I mean, it's incredible. All right, but it is one of several extraordinary claims made by Phillips, who is a top Trump appointee at FEMA. What else?
That's right. Aaron, what really stood out to us in doing this story was this wasn't just a one-off claim. Across multiple podcast interviews over the past several years, Phillips repeatedly described what he said are supernatural experiences. Ones he said he encountered while he was medicated and undergoing treatment for cancer with a self-directed regimen of ivermectin and fenbendazole, which are drugs commonly used. They're anti-parasitic drugs. In one, he said a deceased girlfriend appeared inside his car and lifted it off the road to save him from an oncoming crash. Listen to him here.
Did y'all hear that? A deceased girlfriend saved him from a crash from an oncoming car and lifted him to safety. Now, did y'all catch the part where they said that he was undergoing cancer therapy and he was on these cancer therapy drugs? Now, that may be the smoking gun. I don't know. I'm curious to know, but I'm just, kind of taken back by it all that this dude is still holds an official seat, one of the strongest seats, one of the most powerful seats in the FEMA position, third man, highest man in charge of FEMA, and this dude still holds a seat where, okay, even if it's not true or it's true, but you coming out saying these things and nobody knows where this is coming from, and it's not like it's new. This is something that's old. These podcasts are old that he's on, and it's just now coming out. But let's continue to listen where he says this about his deceased girlfriend.
The girl that had died came into the car with me, and she lifted me and the car up and out of the way from a truck that had slid across the road.
So in another clip that we found, he described collapsing inside an Indianapolis Lowe's, then reappearing across the street in a McDonald's parking lot with little memory of how he got there. He said his phone, his health app on his phone, had 15,000 steps, and he described it as something beyond a medical episode. Listen to him here.
I mean, the whole space and time thing, continuum, it fell with me. This isn't a health thing. This isn't the cancer. This isn't, me. This is a spiritual thing.
Now, y'all hear that? He's coming out saying on this podcast that it's not the health thing. It's not the drugs from the cancer. He's saying that these things are really happening to him. He's doubling down that this is reality. This is nothing. This is not the drugs making him hallucinate. This is none of that. This is all reality based. This is what's really taking place in his life. Hey, man, you can't make this stuff up. Like, it sounds like a movie, like something out of a movie, but me looking at this gentleman don't look like he's 100%. Like, that's just how I feel. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about just how he looks. Look into his eyes. Like, that's how I judge individuals. I look into their eyes. That's the window to their soul. And you can kind of pick up on, are they based in reality? Or are they a little loopy, spaced out on some drugs, alcoholics or whatever? Because I know by me working in a hospital setting, I know I've come across individuals that, are coming down from being addicted to alcohol and they start bugging and tripping. But hey, man, this dude said this is reality. Let's continue.
And Aaron, he also described an encounter with he said he had with Satan while he was walking across Spain. Listen to him here.
Satan lied to me. He convinced me to pour out my water bottle to reduce my pack weight. He almost got his demonic wish and watched me die.
And Aaron, I think it's really...
He says, Satan lied to me. That's what he says. Satan lied to me. He tried to convince me to pour out my water bottle. I mean, let's just sit in that for a minute. Like, weigh the gravity of all his comments thus far that y'all heard thus far. What do y'all think? Where y'all think this man is psychologically at? Number one, I think he needs some psychological attention. Like, you can't hold this position in office and making these kind of statements and not get some kind of psychological evaluation. Like, something is going on here. Whatever it is, like, it's pretty wild. And somebody needs to get to the bottom of it for him to hold such a powerful position and not this be investigated for facts. If it is, why is it happening to him? If it's real, like, what's going on? He's talking about being teleported. He's talking about being protected in traffic by an ex-girlfriend. Then he's talking about coming in contact with Satan, who's telling him to pour out his water bottle. Hey, man, y'all hit me in the comments. Let me know. But we're going to continue. I just want to know what y'all think.
To reiterate how important of a job this is. This isn't a fringe figure. This is the #3 official at FEMA in charge of all federal disaster response.
It's a crucial job. It's a really important job. He's a top Trump appointee. You also found that there.
Hey, that's it. That's it. Y'all let me know. This is on the cusp of a lot of individuals coming up missing, and these people who's come up missing are scientists who have background in UFOs and nuclear information about the United States. They have all kinds of access, and these people have come up missing, murdered, all kinds of disappearing, all kinds of people, and 11 altogether since I believe 2024, and this is what's taking place now. I don't know if y'all believe in UFOs. I don't know if y'all believe in extraterrestrial beings, but this stuff got to be kind of odd. Now, I want y'all to listen to this. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
This morning, members of Congress are to take on a deepening mystery after at least 10 American scientists, all with ties to U.S. nuclear or space research programs, have died or disappeared.
It does appear that there's a high possibility that something sinister is taking place here.
On Monday, the House Oversight Committee saying it will investigate the string of incidents, writing, if the reports are accurate, these deaths and disappearances may represent a grave threat to U.S. national security. It comes just days after the FBI launched its own probe. The agency telling NBC News it is working with the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, and state and local law enforcement to find answers. President Trump even said he was briefed on the matter last week.
I hope it's random, but we're going to know in the next week and a half.
The mysterious deaths and disappearances began in 2023 when Michael David Hicks, a scientist who worked with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, died at the age of 59, with no cause of death publicly released. Between 2024 and 2025, 7 other scientists were reportedly killed or went missing, including 60-year-old NASA engineer Monica Reza, who vanished while on a hike near Los Angeles. And earlier this year,
my husband is missing.
William Neal McCaslin, a 68-year-old retired Air Force general, disappeared after authorities say he left his Albuquerque home on foot.
Y'all heard that? Now, if that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. Like, there's scientists missing, and it's been going on since 2023. I'm sorry for the earlier mix-up. Since 2023, and they've been murdered and turning up missing. One went on a hiking trip and turned up missing. How you turn up missing on a hiking trip when you're with a bunch of individuals and you just disappear? You vanish into thin air. Like, what's going on here? Let's continue to listen to this.
Wave of deaths and disappearances sparking a slew of suspicion and conspiracy theories online.
This is not just a coincidence, it's absolutely a pattern.
Now, the cases are getting even more attention as federal investigators and lawmakers look for a potential link. And it's unclear how long the investigation could take to complete, though a senior FBI official says it will likely take longer than the week and a half the president had suggested. Craig?
Ryan Nobles Force there in Washington. Ryan, thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. And don't
Hey, man. I mean, with what this guy said about about being transported and being saved by deceased girlfriend and coming in contact with the devil, and you got scientists disappearing and being murdered. Like, it's something going on. No, and let's not forget about one of the top officials coming out saying that if we knew what he knows about aliens, the wheels would fall off. Hey, man, I can't make this stuff up, but I'm going to keep in tap with it, and I'm going to keep y'all in tap with it. Check back with the channel. We're going to be posting more on this. But it's your boy, Philly Dark One, for more Hip Hop News TV. And I'm out. Peace.